It's about 7 o'clock in the evening. Headed over to the jet ski or marina anchorage. I'm hoping there's not going to be too many jet skis in there making noise, but they won't be there after dark. All kinds of stuff in the water because we had a big rainstorm, lots of wind. The infamous bridge is up. There was a freighter coming out as I was coming out, and then one coming in just as I went by. So they've been pretty busy. There's a motorboat in there anchored. That's where I'm going to spend the night. Cook a meal. And then Rick might come down tomorrow. We may rendezvous. I'll see. At least they're 4-stroke jet skis. Man, look at all the trash in the water. And this isn't the bad stuff. Anchored and cooking dinner. I adjusted the anchor line. I shortened it because these two boats coming off the beach here, if they come in front of me, I just know they are not going to think about clearing that line. And it's a polypropylene, so it was floating. And they would have cut that thing for sure. So I shortened it. Hatch is open. Hazy today. I don't know if that's smoke from the fires out west. They do get here. I got some rice cooking, and it's going to get some albacore tuna, some tomato sauce, and some peas. And I've got some cherries over there I've been eating. And that's my little USB fan. I haven't made my bed yet. There's a little table that goes across here. And I think that piece of wood there. Sink's working good. I should have about 5 gallons of water. I just use it for cooking and washing. I haven't put stuff away yet. It's tight. We'll see. There's screens that go in on this hatch if I want to put them in, but I don't think there'll be any bugs tonight. There's a little bit of a onshore breeze. Well, first morning on the boat. I should have maybe filmed this a little sooner. That's got to be the smoke from out west. That sun was just red this morning. You could look right at it. Battery's at 13.1. I unplugged the panel last night. When things dry out, I'll go back out. And the guy in a jet ski taking laps this morning. And here I ended up sleeping last night without using my sheets because I forgot to look in that drawer where I put the sheets and my blanket, but I survived. I'm having a rice cake this morning with peanut butter and apricot preserves. Here's the little table. My little cupboard. This is all sliding storage. Everything's lightweight. You have to be careful. You don't beat around in it like you do in a fiberglass boat. There's my hatch. And I was descended upon by mosquitoes last night. It was horrible. I had to get my screens put up. That's the first time I'd really installed them in an emergency. Winds are supposed to be 5 to 10 out of the north today. So when the boat dries off, then we'll go. One more thing. Don't leave the centerboard down, Russ, because when the boat swings around, when the wind shifts, and it tangles the anchor line. So I had to get up last night and deal with that. Well, we're under sail. There is so much trash in the water. I couldn't film it. I literally stopped the boat. I had to pick the trolling motor up in order to get the boat to start moving again. Logs, debris, sticks. It was literally a river of debris that runs from about a quarter mile offshore to a half mile or a mile, 20 feet wide. There are tree-sized logs, timbers. You can't miss them all. There's just no way to get through, and I'm finally out into cleaner water. It's kind of sloppy. Not sure what I'm going to do yet. I guess the wind might have been blowing a little bit more in Canada, and we're getting the debris from it, or the effects of it. I'm not sure if you can see that or not. When the wind comes in clean, I get about 3 mile an hour, 25 degrees. That's moraine. This is the debris line is off here, and that's not the only one. And real hazy today. Again, I think it's the smoke. So I am experimenting with the autopilot. Thank goodness, that just relieves me. I get to look around at the boat, check things out, and put sunblock on without tacking accidentally. Alright. Panel's keeping up with the electrical. Sitting in the shade. A little bit of a wind shift going on. Not much wind. Water's still sloppy. You still get a 2-foot set of rollers will come through every once in a while. Darn flies. 2 miles offshore. Almost 5 miles offshore. No flies there, but as soon as I got about 3 miles offshore, flies and bugs. What the heck are they doing out here? Chance to look at the boat from a different angle. Not sailing very efficient. Tight, fairly tight to the wind. Just kind of sailing in toward the harbor. Probably 1 or 2 miles an hour. Well, I was wrong. I'm going 2.5 to 3. Sailing dead downwind to the house I grew up in high school. Jenny's filled a little bit right now, but I'm too lazy. That line, there's a block out there on the backstay. You can't see it, it's behind the fender, but that line would run to that block, to that sheave, and then come to this jam cleat, which I'm using for my dock line and my tiller lock right now. We'll get some still pictures when we get in closer, maybe. I don't know how close I'm going to go in. There's debris here too. Not as bad. My goodness. And all this is most of it's from the Black River. It's just, gosh, there was flash flooding. It must have come from even further up the river. But there's so much debris. And when I say debris, I mean wood. As I said earlier, from timbers to twigs to leaves. This is just little stuff here. But just off the Lorraine Harbor, there's literally trees. Dead trees. Well, who knows? I can't get in close enough to take pictures with this action cam. It's super wide angle. But I've got some others I can show you if you ever see this one. 4.5 to 5 miles an hour now, sailing to windward. I'm pretty tight to the wind. I'm allowing for some variance. I'm letting the autopilot take over. Wait to see. Yeah, maybe. Every once in a while, close to a 2-foot swell comes through. I'm not sure what they're from. Flattened out some since this morning. Just headed back out now so that when I tack, I can try to clear the debris. Yeah, here's some bigger ones here. Yeah, it's hard to see. You can see the pitch, how close they are. There you go. There's some more coming after this. I mean, we might be able to make that tack now. I just don't want to end up in that debris pile. We'll see. Look at the size of that log. It must be 80 feet, 100 feet long. And that thing's going to be floating around for quite a while. Most of the debris got blown in. Look at the size of that thing. I don't know if you can see it on here. Just talked to some people on the beach. He thinks the boat's pretty cool. I got the canopy up, but I can't open the hatch top to put the screens in because I put the sail underneath. And if I put it on top, I don't think that canopy will go up without me retying all the lines, and I'm not in the mood to do that right now. I just wanted to give it a shot. And 2 anchors out. This is where I grew up and learned how to swim. This is all private beach. All of this up to Lakeview Park in the distance there. My father used to keep his boat here. They'd keep it on racks. They'd raise them up out of the water. There was an opening right over there through the rocks. So hopefully that forward hatch, and between that and the fan, that I'll stay cool enough tonight. He said that the bugs descend on them over here too, so I definitely do not want to be out when they get here like last night. Right about dusk, I'm going to have to get things closed up. I got 2 anchors. So one's the aluminum Danforth. I put it out further and then tied it off so they're both on the bridle. And Yeah, that little one. No, the little one's okay. Hasn't pulled so far because the big one is on the smaller line. So it's holding so far. Well, Mark said that the aluminum Danforth, if the boat turns, it has a tendency to come unhooked. All right, I got to put new batteries in the flashlight to put that on the mast for tonight. The sun is just cherry red. Last time I saw it like that was in Montana during the fires. It's real hazy. My only concern this evening is the wind's supposed to go from the northwest to the southwest, which means I'm going to swing around and be backed up on those rocks. But I got 2 anchors out. Chances are when it switches it's going to be very light, because I'll have the protection from the bank. I'm letting my manual labor do the steering. I was down to about 6 here. We were at about 7 or 8. I'll be out for a couple hours maybe, and if it picks up a little bit, I'll have to stuff that jib. Get the Jenny up. Just to keep the boat a little more placid. I'm not out to race today. Slept okay last night. The wind shifted from the northwest to the southwest, so it put me beam to the waves coming through the break wall, through the break wall there, which had everything clanking and clattering. So I was up at 2:30 in the morning, lashing stuff down and keeping it from moving around. Nothing you wouldn't have to do with any other boat, except this one has a wing mast on it, so it does have a little bit more movement. I'll tell you, that panel keeps right up with the batteries, because I got plenty of battery capacity with those 2 lithium iron. I could maybe use a little downhaul, but I'm not going to mess with it right now. Just being lazy. I'll go in a couple hours and that'll be it. Take it home. A little bit of debris in the water, not much over here. Most of it went ashore yesterday from the storm. We're going to watch for the stuff coming from Vermilion that might make it here. Stowed the Jenny and started flying the jib. The Jenny's tough to handle when the wind gets blowing above 5 or so. I did not have it wrapped as tightly as it will wrap when the wind is blowing, so I had to go up there, release the sheets, and go up there and finish wrapping it by hand. Just tied it off. It's ready to stow. So, better listen to what Mark said. That's a light wind sail. Otherwise, you're going to have your hands full. I didn't have my autopilot for it. Would have got freaking ugly. But I think there's a little jagged right there. That's where I was beat to. About 6.5 to 7. It's not the day to go to Cedar Point, that's for sure. 150-mile trip. I don't think I'd want to be out fishing today. You're pretty much a beam to these waves, and it's kind of sloppy. I don't know if I could sit in that boat. So we're headed in. Too much smoke. Can't see anything. It'll get me in the driveway by 2 o'clock, maybe. It's supposed to be 25-mile-an-hour winds tonight, so I want to make sure I get this thing covered up. Today would have been a good day to sail the other side of the break wall, because it knocks these waves down a little bit, makes it a little more enjoyable. The air's a little dirtier. I don't want to go over there though, because I don't know how much debris is over there. It might be coming off the beaches. I hit a couple of pieces on the way out. One of them got caught on the rudder for a little bit. My headings for the break wall, excuse me, for the lighthouse, the old lighthouse, which is not really the lighthouse, but that's what we call it. And that's the skirt the outer break wall here, which was added, I don't know, 3 years ago maybe. We had to rebuild it. At the time, put some new steel plate in. You see with the way the boat's swinging around, even on the autopilot, how sloppy it is. And even more so here at the mouth of the harbor. The waves come off of the break wall, the old lighthouse break wall, mix up and end up sloshing around right here. And then if you get like this guy here, you get a few of them coming in at the same time, then dragging their butts. Then you're dealing with their weight. I believe that's the weather that I get from Lorraine Harbor. Wind and direction. And that's basically west-southwest. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but in here it's basically just a wall. Only 1 foot, but just a sloppy mess. You come in here with a 1.5 to 2 foot. Uncomfortable. Can't get enough pictures of the light. All right, time for me to sail.